Hello and welcome to our new video. In today's episode, we will delve into the apparent reconciliation between China and the USA, what we know, what has been agreed upon, and what to expect in the future. If you're not already a follower, feel free to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to like and share the content if you find it relevant and informative. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. On June 19, Chinese President Xi Jinping met with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken in Beijing, which was the most important and highly anticipated part of Blinken's visit to China. There was great anticipation that Xi Jinping would receive the U.S. representative, and the meeting was one of the strong indicators to measure the achievements of Blinken's visit and the level of easing in China-U.S. relations. Therefore, once the meeting was confirmed and the meeting scenario was released, it immediately became one of the most significant international events of the day. Against the backdrop of widespread international concern about the downward spiral of China-U.S. relations, this meeting sent the expected signal of relief in tensions between the powers. Although the meeting was not long, it brought substantial information. President Xi outlined the principled stance to stabilize and develop China-U.S. relations, providing strategic suggestions and guidance. President Xi emphasized that the world needs a generally stable Sino-American relationship, and whether the two countries can find the right path to get along well depends on the future and destiny of humanity. The vast expanse of Earth is big enough to accommodate the respective development and common prosperity of China and the U.S., Xi highlighted. Chinese, like Americans, are dignified, confident, and self-reliant people, she said, adding that both have the right to pursue a better life, and the common interests of the two countries should be cherished, and their respective success is an opportunity rather than a threat to each other. These words are filled with sincerity and goodwill, while also being directed. In the meeting, China wanted to demonstrate strategic clarity to the U.S. The three most commonly used adjectives by both sides for their high-level communication are frank, deep, and constructive. China explained the causes of the low point in China-U.S. relations, the urgent tasks for both sides, China's intentions and goals for development and revitalization, and the most prominent risks in the bilateral relationship. According to the Chinese government, the country harbors no ill intentions toward the U.S., but will definitely counter any repressive actions. If the U.S. still has any misunderstandings about China's strategic intentions. Overall, in a situation with low expectations from various parties and having gone through twists and turns, Blinken's visit to China achieved some specific consensus, and the communication was efficient. It is worth noting that during the talks, Blinken made some statements that aligned with China's position. For example, he said that the U.S. is committed to returning to the agenda set at the summit between the heads of state in Bali and reiterated some commitments of U.S. President Joe Biden. Some of Blinken's statements during the press conference held on Monday night also reflected this point. However, it should be emphasized that the stability of China-U.S. relations requires both sides to meet halfway, especially for the U.S. and China to be consistent in words and actions. While it is still too early to determine whether it was a successful visit, China-U.S. relations have made positive progress because of the trip. This is in the interest of the U.S., China, and even the world, which is also what the international community hopes to see. The world has already had unprecedented confidence in the turnaround of China-U.S. relations, but now there are greater expectations for the stability of China-U.S. relations. China and the U.S. have taken a step forward, but it is still far from enough. The key lies in the next steps. There are still differences between the two countries on many issues, which is a fact. No one expects Blinken's trip to resolve these divergences. Its greatest significance lies in the possibility of reversing the highly unhealthy and tense climate in bilateral relations and thereby creating conditions to manage and resolve differences. Lotus flowers were placed in the center of the meeting table between President Xi and Blinken. Currently, it is the season of lotus flowers, and lotus has the same pronunciation in Chinese as harmony, conveying the expectation of peaceful coexistence and win-win cooperation between China and the U.S. Many issues are at stake in the relationship between the U.S. and China, which are the world's largest powers both financially and militarily. Faced with one of the most delicate moments in the world, with various conflicts and the ongoing war in Ukraine and Russia, apparently far from ending, the countries have opposing sides and opinions. Thus, it will be necessary to wait to understand the true positioning in this reconciliation. We have reached the end of our video discussing the reconciliation between China and the USA. We hope you have found valuable and enlightening information. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to follow, like, and share, so we can continue bringing you more videos like this. Thank you for joining us, and until next time.